big news of the morning, as sources have indicated to a lot of different outlets out there, that Washington State quarterback John Mateer is most likely going to be entering the transfer portal. Mateer, really great season for him. 29 touchdowns, 7 interceptions, more than 3,100 passing yards, 826 yards rushing, 15 touchdowns on the ground. And Washington State 8-4 this season. Of course, he followed up Cam Ward, who transferred to Miami this season and had a spectacular year for the Hurricanes. So Mateer, there's already been a lot of speculation over the past few weeks here that he could be following his offensive coordinator, Ben Arbuckle, to Oklahoma. So would you say that that's the most likely landing spot for him? As again, the reports are saying no contact tag, meaning he's not allowed to be reached out to by any of these other coaches unless he reaches out to them, right?
Yeah, that's where all the tea leaves are sort of pointing that he would follow Ben Arbuckle to Oklahoma. 29-year-old offensive coordinator. These two are very, very tight. Obviously had a lot of success together. When I watch Mateer, he reminds me quite a bit of Jalen Hurts. Different release, but similar games. Guys with very strong legs, high squat numbers, very, very quick, and can kill you running inside, but can also throw the football. This is somebody with a ton of talent. There's a reason why he skyrocketed to the top of the portal rankings the second he put his name out there. You look at Oklahoma. This is a program sort of in flux right now, with Coach Venables on the hot seat. You had a huge, huge win against Alabama. So which is this Oklahoma program? Is it the program that could beat an Alabama, or is it the program that looked like a run-of-the-mill SEC team throughout the season? I think offensive line, which you associate with good Oklahoma offense, needs to improve. You've seen a lot of movement in the portal at that position. Of course, the wide receiver position, a lot of injuries throughout the year. A guy like Jackson Arnold, who everybody thought was going to be the future of Oklahoma, who pushed Dylan Gabriel to the University of Oregon, where he is now a Heisman finalist and poised to potentially win a national championship. Arnold himself, now at Auburn, struggled to throw the football without the top 5 receivers and with the struggles at the offensive line position, one of the worst statistical offensive lines in the country at a program in Oklahoma where, you talk about no receivers, no offensive line. That's not Oklahoma, as we've noted for the past decade plus. There's a program that's built on great offensive line play, and in the modern era, great receiver play as well. So they're obviously looking to change that in the portal. And if you get a guy like Mateer, who again reminds me of Jalen Hurts, who we remember from Oklahoma, that to me would be obviously a huge start in reshaping what this offense looks like.
And when you look at Mateer, again, the running aspect is certainly there. 800 plus yards on the ground. And again, a real power behind how he runs. You mentioned the potential Jalen Hurts comparison there. And he didn't start last year. Obviously, Cam Ward was the quarterback, like I mentioned. So this was his first full season as starter. A lot of development there still potentially for him, especially as a passer. I got a call from a scout early in the season that said, man, this Washington State kid can really run it, really talented athlete. But if he can develop as a passer, you're looking at a guy who could be a future very high draft pick in this thing. He's originally from Dallas-Fort Worth, outside of the Dallas-Fort Worth area. So obviously the regional connection is also there with Oklahoma. But the upside is massive with this guy.
Yeah, I'm glad you mentioned that. Dallas to Norman, Oklahoma, you're talking about a little over an hour drive. So not, this is somewhere very close to where he lives. He's from Little Elm, right outside of Dallas. The other school mentioned, the Miami Hurricanes. Of course, Cam Ward went to University of Miami from Washington State, was able to go from a day 3 pick to a Heisman finalist, likely first-round pick. So that's going to be the pitch from the Miami side. Of course, you're talking about quite a transition going from the West over to the Southeast, and the familiarity with the offensive coordinator, Ben Arbuckle, seems to be pulling heavy. Again, that's why all the buzz seems to be towards the Oklahoma Sooners. And you mentioned his passing. So I'm pulling up now the quarterback rating leaderboard. Curtis Rourke from Indiana, playoff player. Jackson Dart, Ole Miss, one of the top quarterbacks in the country. Will Howard in the playoffs. Cam Ward, Heisman finalist. Shedeur Sanders, the other first-round pick, along with Cam Ward. Darian Mensah, transferred from Tulane to Duke, the highest-ranked player in the portal, highest-ranked quarterback in the portal before Mateer entered. Dylan Gabriel, Heisman finalist, playoff quarterback. And then you get John Mateer. This passing. This doesn't take into account the running. This is just quarterback rating. Just to give you an idea of the company he's keeping as a passer, the next two names in the top 10, Drew Aller and Sam Levitt, both playoff quarterbacks. So that quarterback rating, top 10, to me is a pretty compelling list because you're talking about first-round quarterbacks in the playoff, and then the two portal names, Mensa and Mateer. So he can pass, he can throw. This is a guy that in the right offense can do, I think, what Jalen Hurts did at Oklahoma, which is throw for over 3,000 yards, run for over 1,000 yards. He's that talented. He is that much of a true dual threat. Be very interesting to see where he ends up. And yeah, like I said, that non-contact's true. Some of the buzz you hear out of Oklahoma is true. This could be a very quick transition to the Oklahoma Sooners.